But let's get started with the Ace of Wands. All right. Ace of Wands coming up as an underlying energy. So aces are, you know, new beginnings, potentials for new beginnings, right? New doors that come up in our path, and we then have the choice to walk through them or not. Wands, passion, creativity. This could be new projects that are beginning. It could just be the excitement and the enthusiasm to start something new. Don't know about you guys, but there's been that kind of sense for a lot of people that I've spoken to, where there's been this kind of urge to do something or pressure to do something, but some people haven't known what to do, or, you know, there just hasn't been the energy there. I mean, how many other people have not been sleeping or been sleeping too much? But the Ace of Wands here is underlying energy. It feels like the energy shifts in February, and there is this excitement, there is this enthusiasm, there is this urge now to do something, to begin something new, with a lot of passion. If this is concerning a relationship, then there could be the passion there for that. But, you know, this is also about creative projects. This can be business projects that come up, hobbies even. But I think the main drive of this is that spark. If any of you have been feeling like you're missing that spark is there to begin. Now, let's put that down for a moment and let's go over here. So we have the Three of Swords coming up at the heart of your reading. Now, I'm wondering how many people have had old issues come up, old pains come up. I get the sense with this, especially looking at the rest of the cards here, this might even be referring to something that you thought was over and done with. You know, some old issue, some old pain, something that you thought, you know, I've dealt with this. Where's this coming from? The Three of Swords, it's a card of pain, grief, heartache. If we look here, like this woman, shrouded woman here, she's holding this heart. And it has three swords in it. Now the heart itself, it's red, it's healthy, always vibrant, always healthy, which to me says that whatever this pain is, whatever those three swords are that are in it, they've been there for a while. The swords have, you know, healed up. Even for those of you that are dealing with some recent heartache, some recent pain that's been going on, that whatever the recent event was that happened, it feels like it's triggered some old story that's been there. I know a lot of Aquarians, and a lot of you have been getting readings with me about this. We have a lot going on in our 12th house in Capricorn, and there's a lot of old fears that are coming up. And Aquarius, being the sign that it is, it, you know, it hides a lot of its pains. It detaches from a lot of its pains. So these might be things that, you know, you haven't looked at or dealt with or didn't even know that were there, that are coming up now. So there may be that. I get the feeling that this is what this card is referring to. Old heartaches, old pains, some kind of grief or loss. Those stories that we pick up, you know, looking at our parents, our families, the relationships that we've been through, how we get treated at work, how we fit into with friends and organizations. It's anything to do with that, but it feels like that's what's happening here. Now, whenever the Three of Swords comes up, it's very important to remember, whenever the Three of Swords comes up, this is to do, it's an opportunity to remove those swords once and for all. Because what usually happens is an event happens that triggers this old story, this old pain. Can be a relationship, can be a job, something happens, right? This pain comes up. Now, what we normally do is we just wait for the wound to seal up or heal around the swords again, and then we move on. We carry on going, which, you know, the swords are still there. They're still waiting to be removed from the heart. If we can remove, every time they come up, it's an opportunity to remove them once and for all. And that's where the healing comes in. The card that comes in after the Four of Swords in the tarot is the Four of Swords, which is about healing, taking time out to heal. So, you know, that's the progression that goes on here. But I'm rambling on about this. Let's move on to the foundation of the past energy. We have the King of Wands. For some of you, the pain that you're feeling, or you know, whatever this is, whatever's been triggered by this, is connected to a King of Wands. The King of Wands may be a fire sign, which is going to be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but, you know, those placements can be anywhere. I've seen this guy represent everything in a person's reading, from the boss, you know, the kind of entrepreneur, boss energy. I get that with the King of Wands, but also like a personal trainer, someone who's very active. I did a reading for someone about her exercise. Well, for a few people I've done it, and usually I get like the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, that type of energy, because it's about the energy that we put out into the world, right? It's physical activity. I usually get even the Pentacles is usually that. I've found it with Wands as well. So this could be a person in the past. Like, for those of you in relationships, you may have dealt with someone like this. It may not be that energy. I mean, the cards, obviously, the signs don't own the cards. They just lend their characteristics to him. So what's this guy like? He's very confident, very independent. Could be very sexy, very kind of, he's very attractive. I'll say that. And that doesn't mean he's very good looking. That's not what attractive means in this sense. It's more, he can attract whatever he wants to himself. He knows what he wants and he knows how to get it. That's the main energy of the King of Wands. And it may just even be that you were drawn to this kind of a person. And yes, a king, but if, this can be anyone really. It's a general reading. So even this could be your energy. Maybe you were very attractive in the past. You found it very easy, very sociable, outgoing, able to attract whoever you wanted to yourself. Wands are manifestation energy for me. So there feels like there's this, but it's right next to this. So there's some old pain that's been brought up by this character. Now, I'm getting the sense, usually this is like the recent past, right? I don't get that. This could be someone from last month, last year, 10 years ago, because of the nature of the Three of Swords here. I'm just getting that from here. It feels though that there's a healing that comes in and there's a spot. And it's interesting to me that there's a wand here. He's holding a wand here, right? The King of Wands is holding a wand. There is a connection. If we just go by visually looking at this, it kind of feels like whatever this person, like it may not be the person themselves, whatever this person offered you, if for a job, the excitement, the project, the love, the romance, the intimacy, whatever it was that came from this person, feels like it's coming in again, but a new. Doesn't have to be from the same person before people start saying, worrying about people come back from the past. It just feels there's a connection. There's a connection because there's no person here. There's just the wand. There's just that beginning, the spark, the fire is here. But whatever this is here, that's, the underlying energy for this month. And I hope I'm speaking to the mic. I just realized I was turned the other way. It's related to whoever this person is in your life, whoever this person represents here. And indeed, if we look in the present, we have the Page of Pentacles coming up here. Now, the pages are, messengers. They're offers that come in. I always see them as a lesser energy than the aces, but similar to the aces, like aces. There's always like something new beginning. It's a very young energy, very kind of, I'm going to say immature, but immature as in it hasn't matured yet, in that sense, not like a childish or anything. I don't get that. So this Page of Pentacles, he holds up a pentacle, obviously. That's what he's offering. He's offering this pentacle here. And that pentacle represents something of value, something physical, something that represents stability or security for you, something that you can see, you can feel, you can touch. And look at just the way he's holding it. And that, I say this every time. I've seen this pentacle represent everything from an engagement ring to the contract on a house, contract on a job. For some of you, there's been some heartache or some pain or, some old issues that have been triggered due to something that's happened. Let's just go the work route first, at work. But the excitement, enthusiasm coming in, there could be a new project coming in. If you've had problems with a boss or that kind of energy before, it feels like something new is being offered to you now. I will say this though, you might at first look at it and think, that's not a lot. What is this? What, is this all I'm going to get? This looks a little boring. Sometimes it can be that kind of energy, but it is long term. With the pentacles, I always say this, they're solid, they're firm, they're stable, and we can see them immediately. It's kind of slow building, but it usually turns into something big. And it is sat underneath the Ace of Wands. So nevertheless, it doesn't matter even if you get that thing that, oh God, I don't know if this is something that's I'm kind of interested in or not. There's the Ace of Wands here. It's saying trust it, because it's going to, you don't know, that creative spark that it kind of builds in you or burns in you, you don't know where that's going to lead. That could lead anywhere. So it's a good place to start. So I think you can trust this. Now, if this is a relationship reading, the very obvious kind of message here is there's a heartache and pain connected to this person in the past. But there's something that's re-emerging now. If you've been dealing with this, and it feels, look, it's surrounded by wands. It doesn't feel, even though this is at the heart of the reading, it kind of feels like the main energy for this month is healing that pain, removing those swords, getting rid of this pain once and for all. It's like whatever this story was, and this could have been from when you were 5 years old and you were a kid and something happened and it stuck with you your whole life. that story's been building and building. It's, you know, that is what's being removed thanks to this. It feels like this, there's a story, it was triggered by this person, and now there's a new beginning coming in here. I will say it, for some of you, if you know, it could be a second chance with someone. That's going to be for a few of you. So please don't kind of, if you can't see that happening, or if that's like a vague kind of, you know, nothing at all, but please don't, then that's not the message for you. Just if that resonates with you, then that there's an indication there. If that's what you've been going for, then that could be what the offer is, right? It may be that someone kind of seems to, they may extend something towards you. Like, you know, if this person, it could be a new person, right? They extend something towards you and it just feels like it's not a lot. Like you don't know what it is yet. Some of you may be dealing with a younger earth sign. I don't usually see that. I don't usually see that with the pages and the pentacles. But in this reading, I am. It just feels like there's something here. Just there's a sort of kind of a vitality, a youthfulness, something here. So this could be a younger earth sign that some of you are dealing with. But let's get to the Tower. So we have coming up as a future energy. And remember, this is the possible future. It can be changed. We have the Tower coming up. Now the Tower. One of my favorite cards, and I know some people don't like this, and they're like, oh my God, no, not the Tower. I forget who it is. Someone on the Facebook page always says, please, no Tower for Aquarius. Sorry, honey, Aquarius got the Tower. So the Tower, it's lightning striking the Tower, right? And the Tower falling apart, having its crown knocked off. There's people flying out of the Tower. It's become the new death card. Everyone treats it like, you know, it's shock, horror. What is the Tower? Why is this happening to me in my life? It's just change. It's just because we're human beings. We do not like sudden change, you know, especially one that we have not initiated, especially a fixed sign like Aquarius. So there is some sudden change that's coming in. It is sat underneath the Three of Swords. It is sat under the Three of Swords. Now, if this had been anywhere else or, you know, whatever, I would have seen it differently. I would have said something would have been revealed that caused the pain. Like if the Tower had been here and then this had been here, that would have said to me, okay, the sudden change, but you know, the sudden change is something that causes you immense pain, something that's revealed to you. I don't get that. I feel like this is a healing of that. And I actually think this is going to be some kind of surprise that comes in connected to this thing. It feels like at the moment you're discounting something or making it seem smaller than it is. Like it just, no, you're not making it, I guess, but it's just, you're not seeing kind of the potential in this situation. Either a person, a job, an offer, something, you're not seeing the potential in it. And why would you? If you've come from an energy of the King of Wands, this kind of vital, kind of attractive, charismatic energy that's here, and you then go to this guy, and yeah, you know, it's pentacles and it's earth and stuff. It's not going to have the same thing. You're like, really? You know, I want to do something exciting, something new, and I'm getting this. All right, so yeah, some secrets getting revealed, that's for sure. Let's have a look. So first card that came out was the High Priestess, right? So she's the keeper of all secrets, keeper of all knowledge. This is some kind of intuition. It can be. Whenever she comes up in any of my client readings, and you guys know this, if any of you have had this in your card, you know, and it's going to be, see, that's the kind of thing about this. When the Tower comes in, it's a shock. It's whatever's not built on a firm foundation, it comes crashing down. And I get the sense that some of you, and a lot of this is just channeled, it's just come through. A lot of you have been led to believe something, or, you know, you've come to believe something. There's some situation, and it's connected to this. Whatever this pain was, something that caused you heartache or pain in the past, connected to maybe this person, whether that's a boss, whether that's, you know, an authority figure, whether that's a partner, an ex-partner that you had. Whatever that is, whatever this heartache or pain was connected to this, it feels like it was not true. The truth is going to be revealed about this. She says that. And the thing is, when it's shown to you, it's going to almost be like, oh my God, yeah, I think I kind of knew that. So if you've had a hunch, if you've had a gut feeling about something, I mean, sometimes we can have intuitions and, you know, we know something, but we're still human beings and we're insecure and we have stories that we carry around. We have our own kind of issues. So it can be that. And it feels like it breaks you out of your comfort zone. Now, think this could be because we have the Four of Pentacles. This can often represent someone who's been closed off, who's not been saying how they feel, who's, you know, not been sharing. They've just been holding on, maintaining the status quo, staying put. There's no movement. There's no progress when the Four of Pentacles comes up. Someone you may have a psychic connection to as well. Let's say that. So we have the Four of Pentacles coming up. This might be a very specific message. That's why I don't usually do clarifiers, because the more you clarify, the more specific the message gets, which is great. But, you know, the energies themselves, everyone gets them. But when I get deeper, then that's why I pull so many clarifiers when I do personal readings, but not so in these ones, because that's going to get it closer and closer to one person. I try to help as many people as possible, right? But whoever this story is for, this is your message that's coming through. Someone who may have been very closed off, not shared anything. I don't know how long it's been, but this could be this person. Maybe they disappeared and have been really quiet. It feels like they open up. Maybe someone you have a psychic connection to. They have to come clean, and it's because of the Tower. It's if this wasn't here, then I would just say there's secrets. This is basically this passive energy. No one says anything. Nothing changes when this comes out. And this is someone who may be ghosted, you know, sneaked away, left. It's the liar, cheater, deception card. They may have stolen from you. They may have just disappeared and you never knew what happened. And answers, that's what seems to be coming up here, answers. Now, if this is in a work situation, let's try to steer it back and apply these energies. I don't like to say this to Aquarius, but it's kind of strange, and I'm hoping Aquarians will understand this. You get proven wrong, but you know that you were wrong. Does that make sense? Your intuition, whatever this intuition is, that you know it, you've kind of known it, but you've still had the fear. You've still had the heartache. You've not known, right? You've not known what the answer is. You've created, that's what happens. When we don't get answers from a situation, when, you know, you might have lost a job or you were passed over for promotion, something could have happened. Anything that could have happened, like you don't know why it happened. And so what happens is we naturally come up with our own answers. But Aquarius, it's you. You do know. I don't know about you guys. I've been like, you know, the whole wandering around another dimension recently. That's what it's been feeling like. And so you have access to that kind of universal knowledge. And it feels like a lot of you will know. You'll be like, oh, no, I was right. Like, you know, whatever that's intuition you have, that gut feeling that you had about the situation, it's correct. And it's going to get revealed when this Tower strikes. So don't be afraid of the Tower. Like I said, it's one of my favorite cards. Now, you have the Six of Swords coming up as your crowning energy. And this is what this is telling you. Whatever happens here, look at the cards that bookend this. Really, I'm sorry, I'm kind of really going on in this. But you have the Ace of Wands here. So excitement, enthusiasm, fire is returning to your life. Here, you're moving away from a painful situation. It's the Six of Swords. Double this, right? We have progression here. You're moving away from this, you know, and I feel like it's for once and for all you're moving away from it. You're moving away from that situation. And like I said, some of you may even be traveling, going overseas. Someone could be coming to you. I mean, obviously this is a general reading, so the energies can apply both ways, but there is this definite movement. Can be if you might be going abroad to work, you know, travel abroad to work, or this can be like, you know, if there's a long distance relationship, or even if you could live next door to the person and there could be distance, right? And you haven't been talking to each other. It feels like that distance is closing, like you're moving away from the more difficult times.